to the Roast Mortem. How's it going, guys? How the hell are you? How are your hearts? And of course, how are your heads? If you don't want to be dead, listen to this podcast instead.
Very nice.
A little bit of a turn for the serious today. Bit of a turn for the earnest.
Yes.
A bit of a turn for the addiction. I think we should caveat this episode by saying, first things first, right? Myself and Mystery Mick are extremely well versed in the pursuit of escaping oneself.
Yes.
Okay? There are
black belts.
There are many different vehicles of escapism, you know. However, we are not authorities on the subject.
No.
And the other evening, whenever I put up on Instagram to discuss quitting cigarettes, and I said that I'd share, people were asking about how I did it and all the rest. And I said I'd share just things that worked for me. And one person said to me, you shouldn't be doing that. If you're sharing anything, you should only be sharing the HSE advice. I personally disagree with that, because I believe that obviously any smoker is aware of the HSE.
Yes.
And when I was smoking, I would constantly be aware of the radio ads or the ads for quit.ie. And those services, by the way, are excellent. And if you are a smoker trying to quit cigarettes, of course, your first port of call should be to discuss it with your GP, if you can get a bloody appointment, or go onto the HSE website or quit.ie or any of the official bodies, okay? This is by no means a substitute for legitimate, science-backed medical advice or guidance when it comes to nicotine. And I should also clarify, because this conversation will assumingly weave in and out of myself and Michael's substance misuse disorders, ergo or aka alcoholism, this is by no means the answer to any form of alcohol problem.
Totally.
We do not have that solution, you know? And if you read my book, you'll be aware that there is no solution there on how to stop drinking. I can't help anybody else or myself stop drinking. I have availed of help from other people, and you know what I mean? That's how that whole thing works. But this is not going to be about alcohol abuse as such. No. Obviously, if you're struggling out there, please reach out. DMs are always open to anybody struggling. And the same applies for Michael, so that, let that be clear. But I just don't want, in a sea of nonsense on social media and spoofers and coaches and fucking like sober coaches charging people to get sober, all of that nonsense. This is not that, and we don't have the answers. So just let that be very clear. These are myself and Michael's experiences. I'm sorry for harping on, but these are literally just our experiences, and that's it. Okay, there is no answer here other than But for €60 a month, jokes aside, right? I do think I could get anybody off the smokes.
Do you think so?
Alcohol is a different thing because it's a spiritual thing, as for me and, you know, with my journey and yours, yes. Right? In terms of finding that liberation.
It's a lot more complex and...
Yes. There are crossovers, but I do believe I could get anybody off the smokes.
Okay.
Say
more.
I would go as far as saying this. If anybody out there genuinely wants to get off the cigarettes, like, I mean, you're ready to give them up, give me 3 months, I'll get you off the fags.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think I could get somebody off the fags.
How so? Like,
it's all in the head. It's all in the head. The whole idea, I think, for me, is that people think with quitting cigarettes, right? You are... You're trying to figure out how to quit cigarettes.
Yes.
That's not a thing. You just don't smoke. The thing that needs to be figured out is how to treat the head. That's all it is. How to treat the way that you respond to no longer smoking. Ergo seems to be the word of the day for me today. Right. How do you treat life without the cigarette anesthetic? Okay. How do you respond? I'm great coach. One sentence in and he's fucking already back to the PDF handbook. What are those lads? Oh yeah. No, but you know what I mean? What you're trying to do is just tackle the world without cigarettes. That's it. How you respond to different situations. The cigarettes are fucking irrelevant. They are just a tool. It's just an addiction. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
So long story short, I think that if I got somebody one-on-one, I could get them off the fags. I'd put some money on it. I'd absolutely love to see this in practice. Okay, 250 quid.
Yeah.
is all it will charge them. Is all I'll charge them. No, I will bet.
I'll tell you what, I will give, if you can get someone 3 months off cigarettes, I will give them £100 myself.
Okay, and I'll match that.
Yeah.
But when do I get paid? No, but I'm trying to think about this. How do we do it? Because you want it to be interesting for them as well.
Okay. I mean, they get the gift of stopping smoking.
Yeah, but they're also getting the gift of my time. And that's working lungs, one-on-one with Megan, up there. Let's be honest, similar working respiratory system, Mark Megan one-on-one, you know? That's Sophie's choice.
Right.
So, no, but I think if there's anyone out there that really wants to quit cigarettes and doesn't just want to do it, oh, I'm just a bit of gas to get on Zoom with Megan. No, if you're actually ready to stop, let me know. And I will do one Zoom a week for 3 months. And I guarantee you, I will get you off the smokes.
Okay.
That's my problem. That's my promise.
Yes.
Okay, so Michael, you don't smoke anymore either.
No.
You stopped, was it when you were 1 year sober or less than 1 year sober?
6 months. Which
Sober.
in hindsight, I probably should have hung around, in hindsight, I probably took on a bit too much too soon, but
Yeah.
I'm obviously very, very glad I did.
I remember when you were 6 months sober and you said, I'm giving up the fags, and I was like, this is like a lot. Because I gave them up January 12th, so I was a year and I think 3 months sober. And even then, I'd say that was too soon after giving up the booze.
Yeah.
Because as everybody who no longer drinks and who drinks or drank alcoholically, or problematically, when like that was your that was life's pacifier.
100%.
That was a soother for your existence.
Yeah.
So without that, you desperately need to cling on to what you've got left, and that for me was cigarettes. So when I stopped smoking, that was arguably the hardest part of my sobriety, was quitting cigarettes.
Yes. Because
I think the biggest mind fuck about addiction, and particularly when it comes to nicotine, is that your brain will say to you, no, your head's completely gone, you're depressed, you're all the rest, this isn't the cigarettes, this is something else.
Yeah.
So you may as well smoke.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
It's so complex the way it works that it's not just as simple as, oh, I want a cigarette, let me have a cigarette. No. The addiction will convince you that you don't, it's nothing to do with cigarettes, but you are depressed anyway. So why not smoke because you're depressed, if that makes sense?
Yes. The world and your life is constructed to bring you down, and you deserve one. It's your little treat for being such a good boy in my head. I remember for the first couple of weeks just crying, just like genuinely like sitting in bed because, and again, I probably did do it a bit hastily within my own recovery.
So to clarify, you went cold turkey.
Cold turkey.
Same as me.
Yeah, 100%. Put them down, walked away.
That would be my only, for me, if I'm working with somebody on this, the only insistence will be that you just stop.
Yes.
And I think that's worth talking about. And maybe we should have produced this episode better where there was bullet points, but we'll just have a chat around it. I think the whole illusion of waiting for time to stop, right? Even when you're, the moment you're considering stopping something, whether it's eating sweets or whether it's whatever, or cigarettes, the moment that there's the internal bargaining system, it's gone, it's over.
100%.
Because you're already in the addiction stage. Because a quote unquote normal person will do a behaviour, recognise that it's harmful, and then just stop. They don't have to think further about it. They don't have to plan a date in the future when they stop. They don't have to set themselves this date of, oh no, we'll do that because then it will work. That's already, it's gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And that's not a criticism, by the way, because that's just how it works. It's not you, it's just the addiction talking, going, yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So for me, like, there is no time to stop smoking. There's no ideal time, right? There will always be a christening, a family event, a stressful week in work, a troubled relationship, a happy relationship, a holiday, a cinema visit, and a get together. We respond to life by smoking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so there will always be some life that justifies you continuing to smoke. So the only way to stop is to just stop.
Yes.
And then deal with the aftermath. And for me, I think the answer lies within sitting down and going, right, I'm going to stop smoking now. Okay, I'm just going to stop smoking as we speak. This is going to be fucking hellish. This is going to be really hard, but I am willing to go through this hardness because it is just a gift to my future self. That's it. It's a really weird thing, this whole idea of willpower. Like, in ways, yes, it's willpower, but in others, it's not. It's fucking given. It's just going, no, I am submitting myself to whatever. I think white knuckling things and willpower, it works for some people, right? But for me, it's more like I need to go, I am subjecting myself to however hard the feelings are that come up by giving cigarettes.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? 100%. So I'm not going to try and overcome the addiction, because that will not win. For me, at least, I will never overcome anything. But it's like living with it. So by stopping cigarettes, I'm not going to overcome nicotine. I'm not going to beat nicotine. I'm not going to do any of this shit. I'm just going to sit there and allow whatever comes up by quitting cigarettes, and I'm just going to accept it.
Yeah.
And it's torturous, by the way.
It's really tough.
Let's break it down into days.
Okay.
72 hours is all you need for nicotine. And by the way, if there's anybody with a medical background, which is apparently everyone on Instagram, but if anybody with a medical background is listening and wants to correct me, please let me know. This is just two white blokes chatting in a studio. We need more of that.
Yes.
We need more. Forget the
We've never had
bloody
enough.
women and the disabled. Get two white straight guys. Just chatting on, baby.
If there's a perspective that isn't heard enough of.
And you know what? It's the fact we're middle class. What I'm saying is, if there are genuinely, though, things that we're getting wrong, please let me know.
Yes.
And I'd love to talk more about this. It's an area I feel comfortable talking about addiction when it comes to things like nicotine, because with alcohol it's different, because I'm so afraid with alcohol of coming across like I have any form of answer, and I'm too early in my sobriety for that.
I'm with you.
Even to play with the fucking ego of like, oh, who are you to talk about? Yeah. Anyway, so 72 hours. That's all your body needs for nicotine to get out of it. Okay, so that's 3 days. So if you literally just, when I quit in Dunleary, I was like to there and right, these next 3 days are it. And I went down to Super Value in Dunleary and got like as much sweets as possible, anything that would distract, like literally a child, anything that would distract from the anguish of giving up cigarettes. And those 3 days are hellish.
They are.
You can physically feel the withdrawal happening.
Completely. And it's hour by hour. It's a very conscious and drawn out process. And I would actually say it's kind of a constant battle for those couple of days.
It is. Those 3 days are your first test, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to say test, that's the wrong word, but they are the first major milestone.
First step, maybe. Yeah.
If you get through those 3 days, though, you're fucking off to the races.
Yes.
Because the only thing is, and this is one great thing that kept me going, once those 3 days are over, I'm going, right, well, I'm not doing that again. I know I don't have that in me to go through those 3 days again. So now I just have to deal with the next thing.
Yeah.
And I think the next thing is getting to the full week mark. But sorry, for the 3 days, basically, just get 3 days, be it a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it is, and just go, I am going to be irate, I'm going to be depressed, I'm going to be angry, I'm going to have shit sleep, I'm going to eat crap, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. Just accept it, go, yeah, that's it, that's happening. But as long as that, none of those emotions, then don't let your behaviour be dictated by your mood. Here's an example.
Okay.
Dealing with the child. Okay. Rosie, for instance, like, there's been some stuff going on my end in the last month, okay? Well, the last whatever, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Rosie doesn't see any of that, because you don't let your mood always dictate your behaviour.
Totally.
Because that's what being an adult is, and particularly around, say, children, right? You just present in a certain way, no matter what's going on behind the scenes.
Your problem isn't their problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we are capable of not letting our mood dictate our behaviour. Like, that's a fact.
Yeah.
For instance, you have a massive row with me, right? Like, screaming match now. Absolute insane, over the phone, and we're fucking screaming at each other, and you're going, Megan, you've given me a career. You've built me up. You've got my confidence level so high. I've exploded on Instagram because of you. You've done everything for me. And me going, please, Michael, let me help you more. No. Do you know what I mean? We have a massive row.
Yeah,
You brought me out on stage. I've never done any acting before, anything. You've really lit. You know what I mean? And then you hang up the phone, okay? If I call back straight away, you're like, what? What the fuck do you want, right? But if the phone rings straight away and you go, what? And it goes, hello, is that Michael? It's Duncan Valentine here, calling you from Dragon's Den. You'd be like, hello, Duncan. Immediately, you're able to pretend to be okay, right?
There's a level of choice.
There is a choice. So, your mood does not always need to dictate your behaviour.
Those first couple of days, they are a battle, and there is no other word for it than a battle.
And the hand to mouth thing can't be undervalued in terms of its importance either. Like, I think particularly with vapors, because like when I was vaping, like I tried everything to get off smokes, but I was like, I'll move to vape. But then I was vaping as well as smoking. That was just, I literally vaping around the house non-stop and then going out for smokes in between the vapes just to get some fresh air. Like, the insanity.
It's wild, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? Why not just suck off a chimney sweep? Why not just go back to Victorian England? Do you know what I mean? And suck off a line. Bukkake with 15 different chimney sweeps. Choking on the ash. Do you know what I mean? Like a citizen of Pompeii. A few history gags there.
Yeah, nice. Love it.
But the hand to mouth thing, just get the gums. I would say I don't use, again, this is just for me, chewing gum. I had nicotine chewing gum above my fridge to be used in case of emergencies. But I knew with those 72 hours, the moment that I use them, the nicotine's back in your body.
Yeah.
And the addiction's just constantly going. What we need to do is just get the nicotine out of our bodies, and then it's a head game thereafter. But I completely agree with you about the compassion piece. However, to counter that, my concern is, like, it's very easy for two soft cocks like us to sit in a studio and stroke each other's egos without somebody, you know, arguing with us and actually providing sort of a counter argument. But we are two guys who would be invested very much in the pursuit of self-care and interest. Like, we do a lot of introspection, too much introspection probably, and we would be on a certain end of the spectrum of, say, emotional self-appraisals and whatnot. What about the person who doesn't do that and is like, I don't fucking care, Mark. I don't want to sit around and have a chamomile tea and discuss feelings. I just want to have a smoke, because that's been my life, is I've been smoking. And so in those terms, I think it's a case of going, just stop. You're going to be a crab at bollocks for 3 days. Allow yourself that. And then afterwards, every time that you get angry or upset or emotional, say it to yourself, this is because I've quit smoking. Like, I was sitting on the couch beside Darren, and I've said this before, like in a funny way, but I was sitting on the couch beside Darren and Bertie, and we were like, 5 or 6 months into our relationship, you know, never been as happy in terms of discovering love and all the rest, like a real love and whatnot. And I was lying on the couch between her and Bert and watching TV, which should be just like Monday evening bliss. And I turned around to her. I think I was on like day 2. And I just literally was like to her, I have nothing left to live for. And she was like, sorry?
I get that.
And I was like, I've never been more depressed in my life. Everything good in my life is gone. That was what I said. It was like, everything good in my life is gone. And she was like, look around you, bro. You've got like a gorgeous dog in your lap. And me, and you're going, everything good in my life. What are you talking about? But like, my head told me, no, you can't drink alcohol. Now you can't have smokes. There's nothing left for you to enjoy. But that's because your head is still wired to enjoy things that take you away from yourself.
Yeah, and you place so much value on these things when you're trying to overcome them. Like, in my head, the big thing was, if I can't smoke cigarettes, now that I don't drink, there's no reason for me to ever socialise again. Because I can't even sit in a boozer and, you know, be in the smoking area.
But this is the thing, and that word there, I can't even. That's such an... Like, I have that as... I completely hear you, yeah.
And that's, like, I get what you're saying about the compassion piece, but I actually think you're right. It's about being honest about that time. It is... You just have to understand that it is hell, and you were giving up something that has been probably way more central to your life than you realise.
Yeah.
And it's only for future you, because I think even when you give up drinking, there's this, like... You know, you redevelop a relationship with yourself, and it's a very self-exploratory process. And it's, as you know, it's lovely. You stop smoking, you're just miserable. You just lose this really nice treat.
In a very on a temporary level.
Yeah.
But then, you see, the thing is, much like with sobriety, right? Or say like a good relationship. Your head tells you that something's going to feel a certain way. And then when it doesn't, you assume that it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought when I got sober, I'd be fucking running marathons and stuff. I got diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis, and I have to go on a fucking biological drug for the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't get another octave in your vocal range.
I'm going to, every house that I walk into, people will give me a round of applause and go, well done, he stopped drinking. No, lots of people are like, Jesus, he was better on the booze.
Yeah.
He didn't take himself nearly as seriously. But, you know, but life is different. We don't know what's best for us.
Yeah.
And expectations, as myself and Darren always say on holidays, expectations are the enemy of happiness.
Absolutely.
Forget what you think you know is better for you. What you know has gotten you to the point of where you're fucking smoking still. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Or you're drinking or whatever.
Yeah, spot on.
So like, once you accept that you don't know what not smoking will feel like, just fucking try it. There are still hard things about it. Like, every now and then when I get off an airplane and I get out of the airport, particularly in a foreign country, but like particularly in a warmer climate.
Yeah.
When those double doors open, I'm like, oh. But it lasts for about 7 seconds. Can you endure 7 seconds? Well, your missus certainly can. But like, brilliant. See Alice for a minute. But like, I think all of the, I know I'm running away here a bit with this, but like, all of those futures, like the moments of suffering are so minor in comparison to the feeling of liberation that comes from going to Paris. I went to Paris with Darren 18 months into not smoking, and I was sitting around and I was like, I've never been happier here, and I don't have a cigarette. Like, I don't need it. To realise that you're liberated from that is the greatest feeling, and it comes differently than what you might expect. No more than, say, with drinking. Do you know what I mean? When like the moments that I've had of profound gratitude about stopping drinking aren't like on nights out or at 3 a.m. at a gig, or you know what I mean? It's more actually just like Tuesday morning. Like, I'm in my kitchen and I'm going, how amazing is it that I'm not thinking about when my next drink is coming?
Yeah.
I'm not planning. I'm not seeing my phone and going, fuck him, I don't want to see her, I have to do this. I'm going to have to wrangle my entire week and contort my entire routine just to suit myself and Mark's drinking, and Mark gets what he wants.
Yeah.
That is like the gift. So like, the gift of not smoking is like, how superb, like opening your wardrobe and the clothes not smelling. Being able to buy clothes and not, like having that extra few bob. Do you know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
It's all like the gifts of
even like not going to a GP's office and not having to lie, but not having to have that anxiety, or going to the dentist. Like, just being able to like be healthy and be honest about it.
Yeah, you feel clean, right? Yeah. How would you condense this into tips? Okay, firstly, if you're waiting for a time to quit, there isn't one.
There isn't. And don't romanticize the last cigarette.
And that's not you talking about it. That's not you thinking that. That's the addiction. Your addiction voice is separate to yourself. An addict, by the way, comes from the Latin for addict, without a voice. The addiction takes away your voice. Isn't that beautiful? So basically, there will not be an opportune time to quit.
No.
Now, yesterday was great, today is better, whatever.
Yeah.
You are not looking to figure out treating stopping smoking. You are looking to figure out your response to stopping smoking. And if you are just very honest with yourself and very honest with your family or whoever you spend time with the most, and say, listen, I am quitting smoking. I am going to be like a bag of cats for certainly 3 days, potentially 3 weeks. I would love your help and support. And there are the app that I use, by the way, which I don't work with, so this is not paid, but smoke free.
I'm the same.
That will give you all of your updates, so you can follow it in real time, which is an incredibly uplifting thing. When you look at it and you go, oh my God, my blood circulation is getting back to normal. Like, you can literally watch yourself get well.
I think it kind of gamifies it as well. So even if you find yourself, say, 11 or 12 days in and you're like 90% of closing a ring.
Yeah.
It does give you that little reward system in lieu of a cigarette. Of like, I don't want to go back to zero on that one.
Yeah.
And it's something that you won't even realise that a health benefit you're receiving.
Also, every single day of quitting smoking for me was different. So, say if it's day 13, right? Google day 13 quitting cigarette symptoms, because I guarantee you there'll be somebody out there on Reddit, like the quit smoking Reddit subreddit is brilliant, but like on one of the various forums, there will be someone who's experienced what you've experienced. Like, I remember coming home from, what was it? Was it my sister's house or something? I was on the dart basically, and I was around 14 days. And I remember being convinced, no, I'm seriously depressed. It's got nothing to do with the cigarettes, and I don't know what's going to happen. In terms of, like my coming out of this bleakness.
Sure.
I was like, I don't know how I'm ever going to feel like me again. And then it passes. Like, it all fucking passes. And so there will definitely be somebody going through what you've been through.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to wax lyrical for too long, but I got a couple of questions from people. Well, actually, I got a few questions.
Okay.
Somebody sent in an interesting one where they said, how did you get on in terms of once you gave up the cigarettes? Oh my God, somebody literally just messaged me and going, I'm on day 14 myself since New Year's. Well done.
Legend.
Fair play.
Well done.
So somebody goes, what did you discover or as a replacement once you stopped drinking and smoking? The drinking thing is different again, so I'm reluctant to speak too much about that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Again, we could talk about it more if people are interested, but I just want to be careful in how it presents.
For today as well, cigarettes are very siloed. Well, nicotine is a very specific thing.
Exactly. Sugar is the answer, unfortunately. It's the word, like, that's the honest truth. If I look back on, I remember the first day I quit smoking, I was with a few other alcoholics, and one of them just goes to me, 2 stone. I was like, what? He's like, 2 stone. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you'll put on 2 stone, but it's worth it. He's like 10 years off the smokes. And I was like, surely not. Yeah. He wasn't wrong. If I look back on pictures of myself now when I smoked, I feel like I'm ironically, I feel like I'm 20 fucking years younger.
Yeah.
Not younger, maybe, because my eyes and face, the complexion looks bad, but like the weight, I was like a skinny malinx.
Yeah.
Once you stop smoking, the great thing is your taste buds come back, your nose comes back. But if you're anything like me, that little departure from self is always very tempting. And sugar presents as sugar is the final. I've said it before, but like sugar for me is the final frontier of addiction and managing my response to the world is my sugar intake, because that is just, it's legal. It's legal escape. It's not the drinking and smoking, it isn't, but you know what I mean?
It's okay to struggle with food for a while. I certainly did. Like, I've probably put on 3.5, 4 stone since I've stopped smoking. But again, food for me has always been a bit of an issue. And, you know, like, I think that weight would have fluctuated anyway. The fact that I don't smoke anymore is such, like, no one ever, my sister still says to me, like, she's proud of me for the drinking, but she is in awe of me for the smoking. Like, she just cannot believe I gave it up.
Anybody who, and this is why I'm sort of, I know some people probably don't think that it's worth doing a podcast on quitting smoking, but anybody who has quit cigarettes, they will know the pain. And it is, I will never boast about quitting alcohol, do you know what I mean? Because that's not something I believe I did myself. Whereas with cigarettes, I'm like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
When I was smoking at the very end, I was up over 30 a day. And I remember being on my balcony one evening, just smoking one after another. And I'm like, this doesn't stop.
No.
Like, look at my life. I was looking at my life and comparing it to, say, my alcohol. And it's like, oh, this doesn't get better. Like, there's no reverse here, Mark. There's never going to be a natural pause. All of these times where you think, oh, when that happens, I'll stop smoking. When that happens, when I get that job, I won't have time. When I have that wife, I won't have time. When I have that life, I won't have time. Addiction will always find a way to justify its presence in your life. And that is the same, like, across many sort of disordered thinking types. Do you know what I mean? Anything. I won't go into them, but like, they're obvious and self-explanatory. The other ways where, like, there will always be a reason why you continue on this path. And with smoking, to go from fucking 35 cigarettes a day to just nothing is just like, Okay, so Michael, you have some listener questions with regards to quitting cigarettes.
Yes, I do indeed.
Okay, go for it.
How long do the cravings last, and do they ever fully stop?
Yeah, 100% they stop.
Yeah. Do you ever find that you still have an inkling for one?
Yeah, sometimes your response would be, oh, I want... Yeah, but I think you realise that the inkling isn't for a cigarette, it's something else.
Okay.
So you get better at noticing what that feeling is that brings out the inkling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you, at the beginning it's I want a cigarette, I want a cigarette, I want a cigarette. And as time goes on, you go, oh yeah, I think I want a cigarette because I'm getting off an airplane and I used to have cigarettes, right? So there's loads of those sort of Pavlovian responses to addiction and to cigarettes. But then there's also just situations like where you go, oh fuck, and you've got your hands and you're going, oh, I want to... And it's like, oh no, you want to do something because you're just unsettled or you're uneasy or you're anxious or you're awkward or you're in an environment that you're not comfortable. That's the problem, not the cigarette.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Other than food, do you have any tips on how to deal with irritability in the first few weeks?
No, I think write it down. Actually, write it down would be my best advice.
Okay.
Write everything down.
Interesting.
Keep a notes app on your phone and write down every single emotion, whether you're sitting on the bus to work, whether you're in the office, whether you're on the couch at home, whether you're lying in bed, whatever it is, write down, I'm on day 6 without cigarettes and I fucking hate my wife. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, just write it, because the thing is, everything that you do that isn't smoking is bringing you closer to just no longer smoking. Mm-hmm. And you might think, oh, I can't live like this. Yeah, but you don't have to. You won't have to live like this forever. It won't be going, it's not, it is totally and utterly impermanent.
If you slip and have one cigarette, have you failed, or can you recover without spiralling?
Well, yeah, you can start again. Just begin again is the answer, isn't it?
I think it's a worthy question, though, because I know myself for years, I would get a couple of days or a week or two, and then I'd find a reason to have a single cigarette. And then it's just like 6 months pass. So I think I think it's worth asking, because you just need to start again. It's a really different addiction to beat, I think, because you just have to start again.
Well, the
There's
nicotine's
no other way.
in your body, like, and I suppose my feelings would be fairly resolute on that. That like, oh yeah, you just had a few smoke. Yeah, you smoked, and the idea here is that you don't smoke. So you start again, but you are starting again. You're not off the fags for a year with a couple of blips. No, the last time you smoked, you smoked.
Yes.
And then your body literally has to process that again. So that would be, some people might think that's too hard or harsh, but that would be my feeling on it.
No, I think being honest about it is actually ultimately what sets you free.
It's like when violent people get arrested in court and say, oh yeah, it's not in my nature. Couple of minor blips. Okay, so it's in your nature. So you punch somebody in a pub, it's in your nature.
Yeah.
Oh, you got into a scuffle, it's in your nature.
Yeah.
You just, do you know what I mean? So I would say, forget fucking blips. You do not need to smoke again. That is the reality. You're not unique. None of us are unique. I'm not some sort of fucking, oh, well done for whatever. No, not well done. I just am one of many other people who have just stopped. I didn't want to stop. I'm not like less of a purist. Like, I used to think in my head, oh, if people knew what smoking did for me, if people knew what drinking did for me. No, it's the same for everybody, Mark. You're not unique. Like the terminal uniqueness, which you know about from alcohol.
Absolutely.
We think that, no, but I wouldn't be able to manage. No, you would. You would be able to manage. You've managed through insanely difficult things in your life. If you wrote down on a piece of paper now the things that have happened to you in the last 10 years that are really hard, whether it's deaths of loved ones, relationship breakdowns, job disappointments, career disappointments, mental health issues, overall struggles. If you wrote down on the paper, now, the stuff that you've endured for the last 10 years. If you were told that 10 years ago, you'd go, there's no chance I'll be able for it. But look, you are. You got through it. You're done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think it's about changing the fucking defeatist mindset, and not in a self-help guru way of like, oh yeah, just more like, no, it's going to be hard. It's hard for everybody, but you are just everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not unique.
Yeah. No, fair. Love it. Are there any benefits that you didn't expect that you got from quitting smoking?
Boners in the morning.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Big style.
Interesting.
Like a fucking truncheon that could stop a Ford Fiesta. Genuinely.
Really?
Yeah. Back with a vengeance.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's not what I've received. No,
if you're receiving it, mate.
Sorry,
I don't know what Kate's got going on.
A benefit.
Okay. On y va. Okay, Michael, before we go and revert to comedy podcasts going forward, any rallying words to somebody? If somebody is out there now considering quitting smoking, what do you want to say to them?
Just start.
Oh, brilliant. No.
Lovely.
Nike.
No.
Brilliant.
I'm going to think if we bring
straight
that back.
Straight out of the Steve Jobs handbook. Just start.
No, but honestly, there is no other way, in my opinion. There's no book, there's no remedy, there is no nothing other than just starting. Mm-hmm. And it's not easy. Little tip from me, and this might sound mental, 2 things that got me over the first couple of days: sugar-free polos and toothpicks.
Sugar-free polos are a game changer.
Yeah.
However, I'll break your heart. There is fucking sugar in them. There's 10 calories per every 3.
What?
I was going to meetings and I was like I always had like 2 packs. Genuinely, I always had 2 packs of sugar-free polos in my pocket, and I'd get through 2 packs in the space of the hour.
Yeah.
And then I'd come out and be like, that's grand. That's weird. My whole left side of my body's throbbing. like a Floridian fucking mobile scooter bound pensioner drinking flagons of Sunny Delight for breakfast. So don't let them get you. They fucking, so there's calories in them, the bastards.
There's calories, but all things considered, it's better.
Definitely the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, and just bear through it.
And also get yourself like what I would, in my pocket, I would have had like chewing gum, mint, and something else. Mentos, whatever you want. Just keep anything, and here's the brilliant comedy, put anything in your mouth that isn't a cigarette.
Yeah. Because even the toothpicks, because they weren't calories, it was something to play with, kind of to flick around in my mouth. Easy. But just honestly, anything.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a battle, but it is not.
Think about it like this.
It's not something you can't do.
By the time, if you listen to this podcast now, in 1 week's time, by the time the next podcast comes out, you could be 7 days off cigarettes.
Yeah.
And if you've done 7 days, by the way, you're over it.
Yeah.
Like it's honestly, it is the most doable thing of all time. You just need to go 3 days of hell. Can you do 3 days of hell? Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. Everybody can do it. Yep. We've done 3 days of hell, by the way, when smoking. We've stood outside hospital rooms. We've been to fucking hospices. We've been to counsellors. We've been to schools. We've seen our loved ones suffer and experience. We've been through hell. Everybody has. We've had fucking chewing fingernails when people have lost jobs. Nail thing's weird. But like, people have lost jobs. People have gone through the absolute wars and they're still here.
Yeah.
Why not just do it, but for 3 days? And you know that there is an end. There is an absolute end. 3 days. Just get the nicotine out of your system. And then you have, I would say, more. They say if you get through 72 hours, you are like 50% more likely to never smoke again.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They say if you do Mark Megan's one-on-one coaching, 87%. Genuinely, I think I should become a smoking quitting coach, but like a really high-end one.
Yeah.
$7,000 a session. However much money somebody spends, here's one. I should charge however much money someone spends a month on cigarettes. I'll charge them that.
Will you?
That's a very egalitarian approach.
Is it?
Yes. You give me a month of your smoke money and I give you a life of your lungs back.
Okay, fair.
Do you know what I mean?
You're so altruistic.
Thank you very much. Justgoodstuff.ie for the merch. Arriba.